Welcome. Hope this is finding all of you well. We are living in real trying times. Today is March 20th, Friday. I am in day 4 of being self contained, self sequestered, self quarantined, whatever you want to call it. I have not seen anyone outside of my husband since Monday. I have gone out and done things, but because of necessity, but I have stayed as far away from anyone when I've been in public as possible. And other than that, just trying to wait this out a couple weeks to make sure that myself and my family are safeguarded from this horrific, horrific disease. Forgive the hairdo. I'm growing it out clearly. Let me just wet it down a little bit. And the gray's coming in. And this is a great time. I said this is the only thing that's working positive for me is that I can grow my gray in and not have a real hardship with it. So a lot has been going on in my life. I'm sure a lot is going on in your life, but I thought I would just come on and do a little journaling. My stepmother Yuta's father is dying in a facility that we are no longer, as of last weekend, we were no longer allowed to go visit him at all. No contact whatsoever. So the man is dying with a bunch of strangers. They said that they would allow family, being Yuta and her mother, to visit him when he is, quote, imminent. As a nurse, I know that the chances of them being there with him when he's dying is going to be almost 0 to none because nobody knows. He could turn in a second, as I found out with my own mother. Stores, I live in the hot spot. New York State is the worst state to live in, and people are crazy. They've lost their minds completely. I've tried to stay as calm as possible throughout this whole thing. I was one of the naysayers a month and a half ago, even sooner than that, until it got real, and I now realize I was wrong. Just trying to stay positive, but going into the stores, it really hit me a week ago today. I went into a store because I had my grandchildren for 4 days straight. On Saturday, I had all 4 of them here, babysitting them. And I went into the store to pick up some pizzas. Hey, sport in Syracuse, New York. Woohoo! You don't want to be here. You do not want to be here. And I'll tell you why. So I go into a store to pick up some pizzas for Saturday, and it hit me that day. I've never in my life, in 61 years of age, never witnessed what I witnessed last Friday. It was mayhem. People were acting completely crazy, pulling 2 carts at a time, just mounding their carts right up to the brim. I'm standing in line thinking, I got to get out of here. These people have lost their minds. And a man was standing in line next to me. He had one thing in his hand. I can't tell you what it was, but he just all of a sudden yelled out, "People, my 85-year-old mother just needs a loaf of bread. Seriously?" And so we all stop. And I'm waiting because there's people with several loaves of bread in their carts. And I'm waiting. Somebody's going to give this man a loaf of bread. So under my breath, loud enough, because that's how I work, I say, "You're all disgusting. And I'm ashamed of all of you." And a woman behind me says, "I'm from Florida." And she was about my age. She goes, "I've lived in Florida my whole life, and I've survived some really horrible state emergencies, hurricanes." She goes, "I've never witnessed anything like this." And I turned around and I said, "Because you're in New York, and we're crazy. Run! Run while you can. Get out." And she goes, "Thank you for making me laugh." Because she did giggle a little bit, and she goes, "But seriously, I am going back to Florida immediately." And I said, "Yes, because we clearly do not know how to handle any of this, us New Yorkers." So I'm walking more. I just purchased 2 new pairs of sneakers because I put a hole right through my old sneakers because I'm walking so much. So that's a good thing. I will definitely lose weight. I will get my hair grown out. There are positives here. I'm walking every day now because I'm not babysitting any longer and I'm doing nothing else. I'm also, before this even started, I started about a week before I realized, ooh, this is really serious. I started drinking Slim Fast. I want to lose 25 pounds, 20 to 25 pounds. And nobody's hoarding Slim Fast. There's a positive. I'm going to try to give you the positives. Remember, I said I wanted my channel to be a positive. So, nobody's hoarding Slim Fast. There's plenty of Slim Fast to be had. And therefore, I'm drinking 2 bottles for 2 meals a day. So, I'm really only eating 1 meal a day. So, that's kind of helping my husband and I with our food supply. So, that's a positive. So, I will lose weight. I'm getting outside every time it's not raining. Today it went up to 70, but it's gonna go down to the 30s by tomorrow. That's a big dip. And then mid 40s, and then possible snow on Monday. That's how crazy this weather is where I live. So everybody's out walking and trying to get out of their houses because I was listening to the news on my walk today, and they were saying that they're having a huge increase in domestic violence cases. People are stuck at home, nobody's working, stress is high, fears are flying. And if you're in an abusive relationship already, God bless you. God, please have mercy on you, because if you're already living in a domestic violence atmosphere, this is not good. This just feeds it. And you don't think about those things. You don't think about people with mental illness, what this is doing to them. Our governor did a news conference this afternoon around 11 o'clock today, stating that basically New York State will be closed down as of Sunday night, meaning 100% of non-essential businesses will be shut down, and you will be fined if you do not comply. So he started with 50, went to 75, and as of today, 100%. He said he cannot force people not to leave. He took an hour to try to make people understand this is real. The young people across the nation are making light of this, my son being one of them, making light of it. It's just a flu. If I get it, nobody dies my age. Incorrect. People my age aren't getting it. Incorrect. People my age can't transmit it. Incorrect. Everything's incorrect. These young people are just got their heads in the sand. And he took an hour to try to explain that you really all need to just stay home. And no, I know your daughter and your son and your grandchildren miss you and they want to see you. No, do not travel out to see your family. Stay home. So, I can't see my grandkids. I put a post up on Facebook asking people, and I had a couple people saying that they did plan on still seeing their grandkids, and I felt very strongly that they were wrong. And after hearing today, I know I was right, that you're just opening up the valve, and the valve is being closed slowly but surely, and if this continues, the valve will be closed completely. And I fear martial law. You might laugh at that, but if people will not comply and stay home and stop socializing and stop going out, and there was a pastor from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that was interviewed today, who refuses to close his doors, and he's got a congregation over 12,000 people, 1,200 people, and I'm listening to the interview, and I'm just thinking, to what end? Are you an idiot? and he boasted about the Lord's calling on his life and what he was supposed to do. And, no man or law is going to stop him, even though the governor of his state has met with him. They can't force him at this point. But he said he had over 1,600 people congregate in his church on Sunday. Are you insane? I'm sorry. I don't get that. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. Just stop. Stay home. You don't need to go play. Believe me, I love to go out and play. This is a learning curve for me because I spent 5 years on my couch and in my bed and not going anywhere. And in the last 2 years, slowly but surely, I've regained my independence and felt well enough to do things. And now I feel like, well, it was good training because I know how to do this. And most of you, some of you who watch me, this is no different for you. Nothing's changed in your life because you're so sick and you aren't leaving the house. So in that sense, that's a good thing. You're not being hindered. But a lot of people are being hindered, and I just don't know what to say. I don't. You know what you're supposed to be doing. As a nurse, I was doing these practices way before this ever came about, and I used to get mocked. My family would mock me about how much, you'd open up the middle section of my, the console of my car, and you'd see two of those 12-ounce things of Purell. I've had several of these always stacked in my house. I've always had that in my car and in the playroom, and I've always washed my hands. It's, nursing 101. One of the first things they teach you is how to wash your hands, believe it or not, in nursing. Proper hand washing. How I always taught everybody, this is how you blow. This is how you sneeze and cough. Not this, because it still can splatter. I've never done this. It's always this. Always. Pull your shirt up over your face. So those practices I've always done, but can I get people, close loved ones around me to comply? No, I'm having a hard time, believe it or not. They're not taking this seriously, and I don't know what it's going to take. Pray to God that it doesn't take that one of us actually come down with this. I keep praying for a covering upon all of us, that the Lord will protect us and keep us, and that we will, and pray for our nation, pray for our president. I think he's doing a wonderful job. This man is being he was pushed to the limits before this with all the nonsense that the Democrats have shoved down his throat since he took office. And I don't know many people that wouldn't say, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. So God bless President Trump also. Trying to find things, I don't watch TV during the day. I never have, so that's not something I really want to start doing. So like I said, I'm just trying to stay active, walking, talking to people online, playing games online. I love my games online. Reading. And I'm going to try to do some FaceTiming with my family as a family. All of us get on. We're going to try to set up a time that we all can get together and FaceTime because I miss them. And my heart is breaking for my grandkids especially. I just pray that this is not affecting them negatively and scaring them because I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, I haven't even talked to my daughter. I've not talked to anyone other than a couple of text messages. So I don't even know what is being the dialogue that's happening in their homes. My younger daughter had started working from home as of before this last weekend. She went out, her and her husband, and bought a beautiful big office desk and put it together and literally transformed their living room into an office. And because she's an executive in her job. And so she's been working at home this whole week. And it delights her. That works for her. Both my other daughter and son-in-law, they're both teachers. They've been out of work since Monday, as well as the kids being out of school. My husband will continue to work as he pleases because he drives for Lyft and Uber. And that's an essential business, travel, but everything else, name it. I can tell you what is still open. It's easier for me to tell you what's still open. Banks, um, food delivery, because people still need to eat, and stores. I think grocery stores for the most part, or big box stores, but even doctor's offices are not taking in any patients unless you are sick. They don't go in for physical, don't go in for anything else. And that's got to be across the nation. That's not just in New York. But we are being hit the worst. We are the epicenter. I mean, China brought it in, and we got hit in Washington, but New York City, yeah, we can proudly say we're the worst in the United States at this point, and that's very sad and very scary. And the numbers continue to grow and climb every day here in the county that I live in. So I'd like to hear from any of you if you actually know anyone personally who has come down with this virus. I'd love for you to comment below and let me know what you have seen, heard, know. Share your stories. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to stay focused on the Lord. I led my stepmother's father, who was dying, that I spoke to when I first came on. I did lead him to the Lord a week ago this last Sunday. So praise God. He, 90-year-old man dying, wanted nothing to do with it, had been witnessed to several times by other people, including his daughter, and, shut them down. And the door opened for me a week ago Sunday, and he accepted Christ. And I was able to see him a couple days after that, before they closed the doors of no visitors, and we got to talk a little bit more. So I'm delighted that this man is locked into heaven, and that is a great feeling. If you've never led somebody to the Lord, you really do not know what you're missing, and you really need to work on that, because for adults, this is my fourth adult in my lifetime that I've led to the Lord, and it's as close to the feeling I had when I gave a man CPR in church. He fell dead in front of me in church, and I was able to revive him. It's the same kind of feeling, because that's exactly what I was the mouthpiece for the Lord. The Lord used me, but you bring life into this person. When he goes now, he's locked into heaven. So that's another positive. So brought somebody to the Lord. My hair is going to be able to go gray without much ado, because nobody's going to be around to see it. So that's my growth. I don't know when was it. This lighting's not very good. I'm not doing that dyeing anymore, as you can see. I don't even have to do root touch-up. I don't care. My hair is going to get very long. Don't care about that either. As you see, I'm growing out my bangs. Don't care about that. So if this is a weird look for you, I've worn bangs since I was probably I think the last time I did not have bangs was when I was maybe 12, 13 years old. I've had bangs my whole life. So this is new for me, but I'm getting used to it, because it's too hard to have the gray here and the gray here. I just rather have one demarcation line. So that's a positive. Losing weight, getting more exercise, and just believing on Christ. That's all we can do, right? And I'm praying for all of you. Love you all. God's in control. He's up in that blimp. I love the analogy. The parade's going by, and he's up in the blimp, and so he saw the beginning, and he sees the end. We're just seeing right where we are in this part of the parade. And I truly believe that this is not going to end for at least 6 months. That's my belief. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't believe the kids are going to go back to school the rest of the school year. I do not see school reopening. But I really think that the summer will help us, because if we could stay at consistent temperatures above 77. The people in the know are hoping that, like the influenza, the virus cannot live in that type of temperature as long as it's consistent. So I hope for a very hot summer so we can regain ourselves again. But that's all in the Lord's hands, right, guys? So I hope that you're share what you're doing. I'd love to hear what you're doing to keep yourself occupied and not get cabin fever and start going stir crazy. There's a lot of funny YouTubes out there about the being stuck, and if you want to laugh, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. You take it seriously, but you gotta have something to laugh about. And some of these YouTubers are cracking me up with things that they're doing to bide the time. Okay, so God bless, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.